What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Logistical Styles, and I'm back in the analog playground with art appreciation, and just basically doing a catch-up video. You know how I like to do. I like to do a little video to catch up on what I've been doing because I don't have a lot of time to always put videos out on a weekly basis. I wish I could do it a couple times a week, but life is life, so I gotta roll with the schedule. And now it's time to catch up. It's always more fun to talk to another person about what's been going on.
Indeed.
And just kind of just have a conversation. So I figured we could do that because it's been a busy summer, bro.
Very,
It's been
very for you,
super
right?
busy. Yeah, so many gigs, just weddings, parties, the regular bar lounge scene. Um, I'm happy about it. I'm not complaining at all.
For sure.
You know, I occasionally get a little weekend break where it might just be one gig or whatever, but I'm appreciative of that as well because sometimes I'm like, thank goodness there's no gig this today or whatever. But it's been busy and good. You know, I've made a lot of moves as far as the business. Formalized everything, got my LLC up. I think I talked about that last time I was
You
here.
did. And before you get too deep, what are the ways that you can be followed?
Of course, YouTube as well. You subscribe, hit the bell so you can get notifications of when we put videos up. But Instagram, Facebook, uh, Twitter. I'm not on Twitter like that too much, but it's all under Logistical Styles. So
Okay.
if you
And you got the Twitch platform as well,
and
right?
Twitch, yeah, I'm on Twitch as well. Everything is Logistical Styles. So if you just Google that, the cool thing about having a weird name like that is I'm definitely going to be the first hits that you get when you Google it. So Logistical Styles, all one word or two separate words, it doesn't matter. It'll pull up the same thing. So that's how you can follow me and keep up with what's going on. Because, like I said, I don't always have time to do these YouTube videos, but I am pretty consistent with my Instagram as far as posting the gigs so you can see what I'm doing, what type of gigs I do, and just try to keep up with me. I was watching another video earlier before I came out here. It was a DJ talking about how he had actually dropped off of Facebook and focused on Instagram and then was also looking at TikTok. Uh, I think I'm still going to be on Facebook for a while, mainly because a lot of friends and family are on there. And then I think it goes about your age range. It goes by your age range.
Okay.
So the way it's been explained to me from my kids or even other younger folks is Facebook is for the older group.
40 and up, maybe?
Yeah.
35, 40?
Yeah, about 35 up.
Okay.
That's where you're going to find people on Facebook.
Okay.
The younger crowd, the wedding crowd, the newlywed or the people who are going to get married,
Okay.
they're on Instagram.
Okay.
And they're 35 to late 20s. And then Twitch, not Twitch, but TikTok. That's where the really young crowd is.
Is that
But you
right?
also have older folks on there as well. I'm not a TikToker. My wife is on TikTok all the time. She loves it. I just haven't learned it.
Same.
I haven't learned it.
Same.
And I'm not sure if I'm really ready to jump into another social media platform. It took me a while to get on Instagram. Yeah, I was like, at one
Indeed.
point I was like,
I'm
I'm
with you,
just
bro.
Twitter, Facebook, and
Man.
YouTube. And then I stopped doing Twitter. Now Twitter, I only go on Twitter when I want to complain to a company.
Okay. Okay.
If I got a problem with like FedEx or something like that, I'll jump on and at them, and that's how I get pulled into their customer service environment or whatever and get my problem solved. But I at one point I was on Twitter posting my opinions and stuff, and I realized it's kind of like shouting into the void, you know. So I kind of moved on from that. There was more interaction with other DJs and stuff on Facebook. There's Facebook groups. There's an Atlanta DJ Zone Facebook group that I'm in and pretty active with. The Sunday City Cyphers crew, I'm in that group. That's the group that put on DJ's Day Out back in
Okay.
June.
Okay. Okay.
I want to touch on that too.
Yeah, and you found it to be quite successful if you do Facebook groups when it comes to the music,
Yeah, especially for networking.
like even collectors and whatnot. Would you say?
Like record collectors and stuff.
Yeah, man.
There are groups for that.
Okay.
There are. I'm in. I do more groups on Facebook than anything else. You know, I'll look at people's posts and scroll and see what they're up to. But as far as interacting,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it in a group because it's a group of like-minded people.
Okay.
So like I'm in this one group for Technique 1200s modifications and restoration, and this is a group with people from all over the world.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff that they do is pretty amazing. Like you got some dope decks.
Thank you.
I need to take a picture of those and post them up in the group and be like, yo, check these out. But some of the restores that they do, they get some decks that look like they've been at the bottom of the ocean for the past 5 years, and they take them apart, strip them down completely, maybe do some modifications like the different color LEDs and stuff. And sometimes it's a personal job, sometimes it's a job for a client, sometimes it's something they found, they're refurbing, and they're going to sell it as part of their business model.
Okay.
And I got into that because that's something I did for a while. I used to strip down Technique 1200s and
Really?
repaint them different colors.
Yeah.
I've done actually not just my own decks, but I've done a couple other DJs here in Atlanta. You know, I've done mine like 3 times. I got bored with the color. It was like, strip them down. We're going to do another color. And I learned it all on YouTube.
Exactly.
I learned it on YouTube. There's this guy. I'm not sure if he's active anymore, but his name was Viper Frank, and he's from like the UK. And he's like an electrician by trade, so he knows his way around that type of stuff. But he was also a DJ, so he would put these videos together, showing how to repair a 1200 or to
Take 'em
swap
apart.
take them apart, put different color LEDs in the lights and everything.
Yeah.
And I just got into it. It just intrigued me. And then when I started seeing that these parts are really not that expensive, this was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Things were easy to get. And I was like, I just go to radio. And this was back when Radio Shack was still open. Yeah. Because I went to Radio Shack. I remember going to Radio Shack, and they had this section in the back with all these little drawers. And you go through, you can find any transistor, resistor, capacitor, LED there.
Yep.
And you buy them for pennies. So I was like, this is something I wanted to do. And I got into it. I think I've did, it's under 10, but close to 10 different DJs turntable setups. So
Really?
that's about 20
Yeah.
turntables
Yeah.
that I've redone. And I've done mine several times. And I'm talking about like I sand that chassis down to the stainless steel, the aluminum.
Yes.
You know, and I think I might do that for my next one is I might keep it aluminum because it looks really good. When you strip all that paint off, it looks like a DeLorean.
Really?
The Back to the Future car. Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks dope like that. But yeah, and that's a Facebook group that I'm in.
Okay.
I'm in several DJ groups, and that's how I get all my bookings. A lot of the DJs that send me referrals and gigs now, I didn't know before Facebook. These are people that I met in a group, and you watch how people move. You see what they post.
Yes.
You see pictures of their gigs, and you're like, oh, he's got a good setup. He's like, he cares about the stuff I care about the wires and the clean setup, and a really professional look. I could work with that guy probably. And then out of the blue, hey, you got a gig on this date? You want to do it? And you can tell when they're testing you out because they send you something like a baby shower. You're like, okay, yeah, I can do it, no problem. But it's easy. But if you go and screw up a baby shower, then I'm probably not going to send you no more gigs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah, I'm still going to stick with Facebook for a little while because I see a way to make money out of it, and friends and family keep in contact that way, definitely.
But that's how you have connected with most of your community. Most of the music community, your professional DJing community, is through social media.
Yeah, definitely. And then even this channel, this YouTube channel, I am amazed so often by the feedback that I get from the viewers on this channel, because I'll get a text message out of the blue, or someone will come into my inbox and be like, "Hey, bro, I seen what you're doing. I love what you're doing. Keep it up. I've been watching you from the early days." I'm like, wow. Sometimes, I put a video up and it may only get like 20, 30 views initially. And I'm like, okay, well, I didn't really have the effect I was thinking on, but I leave it up. And then the beauty about YouTube is those videos stay relevant. You know what I'm saying? These videos I put up stay relevant versus Instagram post,
Yes.
which if you put up an Instagram story, it's only going to be there for 24 hours.
Gotcha.
If you put up a regular post, it's only going to be relevant until the second you put a post up on Instagram, it starts losing its relevancy because other people are posting and your stuff is going down.
Gotcha.
With YouTube, people come on and search for specific things. So if you have someone that says, "Hey, I need to learn how to use phase," there's a ton of videos out there for phase or almost any DJ related thing. Like just yesterday, I had a weed whacker, a weed trimmer, and I couldn't keep it crunk. I get it crunk and it die or whatever. I was like, man, forget this. I'm going on YouTube. Went on YouTube, found out there's a video for the exact model of the weed eater that I have, and they're showing you how to replace the carburetor. And this is an old video, but it had value to me today. So that's what I love about YouTube. You can put something up and it will eventually find the people, or the people will find it.
Gotcha.
So that's what I love about
okay. So
this
social
platform.
media is extremely relevant then, huh?
It's relevant, and it's hard because sometimes you don't want to chase every platform. Like I said before, I'm not a TikToker, and apparently there's people making money on TikTok.
What do you find most guys that you have dealt with? What platforms do they normally use?
I mean, my DJ friends are on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
Facebook and Instagram, that's still how they're working. Everybody that I know that's trying to break it into TikTok, they are.
And Twitch too, right?
Even on Twitch, yeah. Okay. Well, Twitch is a little bit easier than TikTok, I think.
Yeah.
Twitch has more freedom. You can play whatever you want. You're not really getting a lot of copyright strikes. I've heard some people are starting to get a little bit more, but it's nowhere near like what you're getting on Facebook.
Yeah.
You get on Facebook, you're going to get shut down within minutes. You try to start
social media police.
DJing,
those filters on there.
But
it is occurring on Twitch now. Is that right?
Yeah, some people are getting takedowns or there's a game with Twitch. So with Twitch, you go live, you play what you want. They won't mute you. They won't shut you down.
Okay.
If you set your Twitch to record your sets and keep them up for people to watch later on, then you will get hit. You'll get the takedowns.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've experienced that because I was like, okay, great. I'll just go in and do mixes and then keep them cataloged up there on Twitch for people to see. And the first one I did that recorded and stayed up there the next day.
That's right.
This is muted.
Yes.
This is
pieces
muted.
of it, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So each platform has its own intricacies, and you got to learn how to work around it.
Okay.
And then also the metrics are different. So like this is one thing that's throwing me off on TikTok. So people are like, oh, I did this TikTok and it went viral. I was like, okay, what was the numbers on it? It was like, man, I had like 1 million views. And I'm like, oh, all right. On TikTok, 1 million views is not viral. TikTok, 1 million views is just like, I've seen pictures of a dog just sitting in the yard and it had like 1 million views on TikTok. So I was like, no, you got to get big numbers on TikTok. And the reason being because they're such short videos. And they're constantly, like if you sit there and you watch TikTok, or you're scrolling on your phone, you're going to get hit with all these videos with way more videos from way more content creators in such a short period of time.
And that's all that is. So the purpose of TikTok is just, let's say, a minute, 30 seconds of video.
I think they're like a minute. TikTok's like a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's it. Just flashing nothing but videos, and you can stream down.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, you know, I don't know, I feel kind of funny about TikTok because I see people using it and they'll let that same video run over and over again on repeat. And I'm like,
Yes.
what's the purpose of that? Is it to hammer in is it a
Yes.
coincidence that, hey, you didn't scroll, you got to keep scrolling, otherwise the video keeps playing over and over again? Or is that intentional?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
even they put that little voice on the
Yeah.
I hate that.
The automated joint.
Yeah.
The robot. Yeah. Oh, so is that a TikTok thing?
That's
Or is that just
I think
a
that's
program that somebody
It
uses?
started with, I first saw it on TikTok.
Really?
I've never heard that. This is what happens when I'm walking
Yeah,
down
yeah,
this-
yeah,
that
yeah,
voice.
yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen that until or heard that until TikTok videos.
Didn't know that.
And it's frustrating because TikTok is taking over. Like my Instagram is mostly TikTok
Yes,
videos.
that's true.
You can't hide it. You can't
That's
true. Escape it.
You're right.
You know, I'm not on TikTok, but I see a lot of TikTok videos because
A lot of, yeah.
they cross-platform post this stuff. And I do it too with my Instagram. When I post something on the Logistical Styles Instagram page, it automatically gets posted on the Logistical Styles Facebook page.
Because they're the same, of course.
Yeah, and it's the same company. It's owned by the same company.
Who is TikTok owned by? Or are they
It's
with anyone else?
No, it's a
All by
Chinese
itself?
company.
Okay.
And
it's solely its own platform.
Yeah.
Solely its own. Okay. All right. Very well.
so that's what it is. You know, like there's other platforms I never touched.
Okay.
Snapchat, never touched
Oh,
Snapchat.
yeah. But the age demographic for TikTok is normally going to be 25 and under.
It's a younger,
30 and under, probably.
Yeah, it's a younger. I mean,
on-
but
on
you do have,
average.
like I said, there's older folks that
Yes.
want to keep up with the younger folks,
Yeah.
and then TikTok has different lanes. You know, there's like an education TikTok. There's a, you know, gardening TikTok. You know, and most social media platforms basically are they react to what you like. If you like this, you're going to get more of this.
Absolutely.
If you comment on this, that means you
Absolutely.
like it, you're going to get some more of it. So
Yes.
if you are really scatterbrained and you might like a whole lot of different things, then you might get bombarded with a lot of different stuff. But, you know, I'm comfortable with, you know, my 3 platforms,
Gotcha.
YouTube, Twitter, Facebook.
Okay.
And not Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook.
Okay.
And that seems to be working.
And speaking of education, I know you were working on an educational plateau or
Yeah.
an educational lane. How's that working out for you? Or have you
Still
continued
building
with
it. I'm still building it. I realize that is the next big project for me is I got to come up with a curriculum for a topic, because one of the next things I'm going to be doing is getting with one of the platforms like Udemy or Kajabi, and those are platforms where you can create your own course that about something that you're knowledgeable on, and you can sell that course on that platform. And the beauty of it is you're almost like licensing your own stuff. So I can create a course about DJing. Like, say I can do a course about the introduction basics of DJing and make it like an hour, 2-hour long course, and I break it up into a little 5 to 10 minute segments. I record them, upload it to the platform. It's a package as a course. That package can get sold over and over and over again. You know, so it's not like I put this package together and the first person that came in and was like, "Yo, I want to buy that," and now it's gone. No one else can get it. No, it's still up there. So the next person that does a search and comes across my course, they can sign up for it. So it's like a
Okay.
reoccurring
Yeah.
stream of income.
Nice.
Yeah, I just need to sit down and write out the curriculum. And the hard part for that is when I do these things, I be wanting to hit every point. And it's like, no, you can't. It's impossible to get all that knowledge in one course.
Yeah.
So define what you want to teach.
Okay.
Write it out.
Like putting the turntables back together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then practice it a couple of times. Don't think you're gonna be, one take Willie and it's like, I did it and it's done. No, you might have to go back, and I'm learning how to perfect that by watching other courses. So, at my day job, working in IT, I'm always working on a certification for something. So now I'm looking, when I take these courses, I'm looking at their style, their teaching style, their speaking style. How are they presenting stuff? And I'm taking cues from that and learning what I want to do and incorporate into my style. And that's something I've been learning a lot about myself lately, is work with other people, look at other people's work, and learn from it. Not bite,
Yes.
steal, whatever,
Yes.
but
Yes. It's an
improve.
inspiration.
Yeah. So my last couple of gigs have been me helping other DJs. So I did a wedding a couple weeks ago where I was the assistant. It wasn't my gig. I wasn't booked. In fact, I was just there, dressed appropriately and helping this guy. But, I was just the helper. And it felt good to do that. One, there was no pressure of, okay, how am I entertain these people? What am I going to do? What's the next song? What's the next song? No, it's like, what you gonna play next, bro? Because it ain't my decision.
Yeah.
But he would bounce ideas off me. He'd be like, "What do you think if I play this next?" And I realized I learned a lot, because there's things that I don't do when I DJ, and I kind of feel bad about it. One is I'm not a mic talker.
Okay.
I'm not a big talker on the mic.
Okay.
If I'm at Sage, I'll do the birthday shout outs. I'll do. There's never a drink special, but if there was, they told me I would do it.
Okay.
I can make any announcement that I'm asked to make.
Yeah.
But as far as like getting into the crowd, hyping them up, and
Correct.
being
The party
artificial,
starter and
yeah,
all
being
that,
like, I don't do that really well, unless I've been drinking or something like that. But other
Gotcha.
than that, I'm like business.
Yes.
And I got to watch this other DJ in action and see how he worked. It's different than watching, a video of somebody and trying to critique it, but watching it happen live
On the job training.
and seeing on the job training, and you're never too old to get it. I've been DJing over 30 years, and this was a learning experience for me.
Okay. So it inspired you to want to do more.
Yeah,
to get on the mic?
like I don't want to be a big talker on the mic, but I
Yes.
do want to have a little bit more personality and interaction when I'm DJing. I usually speak with my hands and my song selection.
Indeed.
And then when I get that reaction from them, I'm like, yeah, that. And then I'll feed off that and find the next banger. But I see other DJs and they work the mic like, just
A little too much, right?
a little too much. Yeah.
What do you find? Do you find more to be in the lane that you're in, or do you find more that kind of would like to garner the attention when it gets on the mic? Or is it 50-50, would you say?
I think these days more DJs want to be on the mic and get that attention. And at the same time, I have been running across other DJs that I thought were big mic users, and they're not. I'm like, damn, man, you're a really solid DJ. And I'm learning that it's one of those skills that it's almost like scratching. You don't have to scratch to DJ a party and do it well. You could rock a party and not scratch at all.
Dig it.
You can rock a party and not talk on the mic at all. But it always helps.
It enhances. Okay.
And you can go overboard with it. You ever been to a party when a DJ just won't stop scratching? And it's like, hey, bro, it's not the time, And that's what surprises a lot of people. When I DJ at like parties and clubs or whatever, I don't scratch very much.
At all.
I mean, I might and drop it in.
Okay.
But as far as like bringing it back, nah. Because for me, it might be a confidence thing. Because I want things to be right.
It's a lot of work.
And I don't want to screw up the flow
Yes.
while I'm trying to
Yes.
be showboating and trying to be the center of attention. Because look, that's what you get. You should have just played the record instead of trying to, spin backwards and all that stuff.
Okay.
So in my mind, there's always another me in the back of my mind.
Okay.
It's like, see, that's what you get. You was doing that. There's like There's a
Okay, so check it out. So say if it was me up there spinning and you were just checking the scene. Once I start doing over, let's say, 20 seconds of that, in the back of your mind, are you saying, man, this dude's doing a little too much? That's, you know?
the deciding factor will be is if it's good, because a lot
Okay.
of DJs get on there and it don't be good. It's
Oh,
not
oh,
good.
yeah, and that's, yeah.
It's like, I know you want to scratch. I know you want to get a little shine,
That's a
but
lot of work. That's a lot of work.
you didn't practice that.
But just for the sake of the conversation, let's say that the technique is pristine.
Okay.
Even if everything is top notch. What can you get away with? Maybe 20 to 30 seconds?
Yeah, I mean, and even
You
then,
know,
it's more about
without them saying, "Hey, this is a little too much of this," or
yeah.
you know,
It's gonna be about. I would say more about bars, the
yes,
counting the music.
yes, yes,
Um, like if you go in like, really, it should be like 4 bars and then let it go.
okay,
Bump, 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 and four
okay,
bars is like the max because really you're seasoning the
okay.
mix. You
But
know.
just like I was alluding to you with using my style when I was cutting that in,
Uh huh.
how many bars would you use that on? Just 4 bars, maybe 16, and then move on to something else.
4. I would do it
Just
like a
four.
4 because so y'all missed the early discussion, but what I was saying is like, instead of just using the ahs and the freshes when you cutting and scratching, use different phrases and
Indeed.
then you spread them out. So you might have the ahs and the scratches or your the ah and the fresh. That's your power punch, your power combo. And when you watch a boxer, they're not always coming with the power hits. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
Sometimes they pacing you out, pull you in,
The
let you
jab.
walk
Okay.
around, get you,
Okay.
they work you.
Okay.
And you should do the same thing when you're scratching, whether you're doing it at a party or doing it even in a session, a scratch session. Mix that up. Mix it up. Ah, 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 ah. Bite my style, stop biting my style, this, that, and the other. And then another thing. So you keep it moving because it can get very repetitive,
Yes.
especially if you're only using the same sounds.
Yes.
The ah and the fresh are
Yeah.
really good training sounds, and they're really cool when you sprinkle them in.
Yes.
But if you're just using that all throughout the whole session, the whole party or whatever, it's like, come on, you got other things you can use. So definitely, yeah, you want to spread that out. You want to be able
Okay.
to just keep people guessing what's going to come next.
Gotcha.
And when you throw them different phrases in, you pick them from different songs or whatever,
Yes.
especially the right phrase, like that phrase you was cutting in, I was like, dang, that actually is a really good sentence to put
Appreciate that.
in a scratch phrase. So yeah,
Appreciate
mix
it.
it up.
But still, even if you're mixing something like that, and let's say for the sake of an audience, it's still only good to hit it and move on.
Yeah.
So just maybe 8 bars and move on. Don't get stuck scratching and cutting anything. Just hit it
Yeah.
and then go back to mixing, doing whatever.
Especially,
Rocking.
depending on what the crowd is doing. If you're in a
Yes.
place where everyone's sitting down and they just at a bar, the TV's going, they got drinks and food coming, then you can probably do a little bit more cutting because
Okay.
you providing the vibe and the background music. But if you have a dance floor, nah,
Ain't happening.
ain't happening. Ain't no reason to, in my opinion,
Okay.
unless you got some breakers going on, some break dances going on.
Yes.
Other than that, I see no reason to do all that other stuff while you have a dance floor because it's hard enough to get people out to dance.
Really?
Sometimes, like the other gig I did Sunday when I was helping another DJ, they love to line dance. But then you throw something else on after that, and it could be a hot song. Walking back to the tables, I'm like, oh damn, I gotta play
Really?
all these line dances. This is
Yeah.
what I'm going to do to keep y'all moving. Okay, then you got to get your game plan. And the DJ I worked with, DJ Tron, he
Salute, Tron.
he worked them because we kicked it off with the wobble, You know, I was like, it's an older crowd. This was for Morehouse School of Medicine for they were hosting a party. There was a big medical convention in town this week, and different groups had different parties going on. So this was an older crowd. There were some med students there, but for the most part, it was people our age and that category.
Older. Okay.
And you know, they wanted to do their line dances. They did the wobble, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna hit them with that Beyonce before I let go next, because that always gives me a good response. And nothing from them. And Tron looked at me. He was like, "Yeah, I would have played that too." He was like, "That was the song I was gonna play too." So it's not like you picked a bad one, but some people, they have to have instructions for dancing. So they need to hear, go to the left, go to the right, turn around.
Do you find that the dancing is becoming more of an older thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of these, like when I worked at the other club, it's not open anymore, but Oak. And it took me probably about 2 or 3 weeks to realize there's no actual dance floor in this club. It's a huge club, multi-level.
What?
There's no dance floor. Everything is sections. Everything's a VIP section, or yeah, everything's a section. You have to pay to sit down. You got to pay that couch. Oh, you got to pay, and it's not like $25. I'm talking about like a lot of money, because you got to buy a bottle. It's a VIP section, so you got to spend money like a VIP. And the whole club is that way. The only other place you could be without being in the way was waiting by the bar.
So when you feel in the track, where do you go? Just right there in the booth there. I mean, the area that you.
They just stand up, hey, pull their phones out, hey, and that does not last the whole song either. That lasts when the song come on, or when they got everybody in position for the video so they can post it. Now, social media has taken over the clubs. Everybody's got their phone out.
Really?
Everybody's got their phone out, and they're waiting for the right moment to
So
post something.
we're just capturing a moment,
Yeah.
and then that's it.
Yeah, and then that's one of the reasons why I don't like TikTok so much, is because certain songs become really popular on TikTok, and they're like, "Can you play this song?"
Really?
And you end up playing the song, but the only reason you're playing that song, you realize, is because they want to make a TikTok to that song.
Gotcha.
They don't want to dance to the song. So you may have had some people on the dance floor dancing, and then there's a song that you know is hot because of TikTok. And you're like, all right, well, let me go ahead and play it. I had a couple of requests for it. You play it, you get an initial reaction from it.
20 seconds.
Yeah. And then it goes away, and you got the song playing that cleared the dance floor, and you're like, okay, now I got to rebound again. So I found that to be my biggest problem.
So let's say with a mature audience that's 35 plus, how long are you going to let a song rock for?
Older crowds want to hear the whole song.
They do want to hear the whole song. Okay.
Older crowds, they want to hear the whole song, especially when you get past 40. The only people I know that really don't want to hear, they want you to quick mix, are people who are still in the club every weekend.
Okay.
I'm not going to be judgmental about it. I mean, like,
Right. Respectful.
Yeah.
Just different trends, different cultures, you know. Okay.
It's funny, but yeah, me and Tron, we were talking about that at the event. It was like, you know, the older crowds like to hear the whole song, or the majority of the song.
So second and third verses is okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, with the older crowds.
That's great.
Some songs, you know.
Yes.
No. Yeah, like some songs go on forever, like the Biker Shuffle.
Yeah.
Cupid Shuffle. Those songs are like 7 minutes long.
Yeah. And more bounce, you know, like about 9 minutes.
Yeah. Don't even get me on Knee Deep.
Oh, man.
That's 15 minutes.
All that funkadelic stuff, all the P-funk stuff. So, okay.
But yeah, older crowds generally like to hear most of the song in the original version. They don't want to hear
Word up.
remixes.
Okay, so it's safe to get away with at least 2 verses. 2 verses, 2 hooks.
Yeah.
Whatever. Or at least until the break.
Yeah. if the song has a break.
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
songs these days don't even have
If it
breaks.
got a break, and mostly originals. They don't want to hear.
I don't want to hear too many remixing. And if you do have a remix, it got to be a good one.
Okay.
Something you got to have a good popular beat
Okay.
that you taking a good popular acapella over and mixing it up
Yes.
like that they recognize right away.
Yes. Okay.
They don't want to think
Okay.
while they're dancing because it took them long. It's funny because you put on a song that you know they're going to dance to, but it may still take a minute and a half for them to come out to the dance floor. And I'm
Really?
like, all right, this song is going to end in about a minute. So what I do, I bring it back or just pick the right next song to flow into it. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But crowds are hard to read sometimes. It's like,
Okay. Well, that's the
you
beauty.
think,
That's the beauty of being a vet too.
yeah.
So, you know, yo. So, off subject a little bit. When it comes to you using cue points on, let's say, on the controller,
Uh-huh.
do you find that as cheating, or do you find that's just a great tool?
It's a
to
great
have?
tool. Great
Okay.
tool to have. I use it
Okay.
all the time.
Okay.
Sometimes I try to make myself not get into using it too much.
Yeah, like with backspins.
With
and that kind-
backspins, yeah, especially with backspins.
Okay.
It's like if it's just one or two rotations spin
Yes,
back, just
yes,
do that, you
yes,
know.
yes.
But then sometimes, like depending on the hardware or even the software you're using, there is something called sticker drift, where if you're doing a lot of backspin, sometimes you spin it back properly, but the cue point has moved now a
That
little
is
bit.
me. Yeah.
That's sticker drift. Serato has a box you can check in the settings to turn on anti-sticker drift or whatever. And for the most part, it does work, but occasionally things happen, especially if you're
bruh.
using needles, because sometimes you can backspin, and
Okay.
if you're heavy-handed, the needle will jump off the record, and when it lands back, your cue point is a little off. So that's when you have to bring it back,
Cat is
hit that cue
dropping
point.
jewels. This
Yeah.
cat is dropping jewels. Sticker drift.
Sticker drift, yeah. Yeah, it's in Serato. If you go into your settings, there's a box where you can check or uncheck that feature.
Oh man, that's an edit. You got to put that up. You gotta put that- Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, but for the sake of backspins, you say, for the most part, you like the tool of using the cue points as opposed to doing
Oh,
it.
I love the cue points.
Okay.
It lets you jump around where you need to go.
Okay.
Not even just for jumping around, but just for putting a visual marker on the
Yes.
track. Sometimes I'll put
Yeah.
a cue point just so I know this is the part of the song
Oh,
to
absolutely.
mix out of there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if there's like a word that I need to edit, maybe
Okay.
if I don't have a clean version of it.
Yes.
There's a curse right
Yes.
here.
Yes.
Grab that.
But just for the sake of backspins, it's not cheating to you if you can just use that and go back and whatever.
No.
And check it out. For I guess some of us older that was pre the controllers, it's just a different culture, a different language.
Yeah.
Just like beats per minute. It's nice to be told what can mix together versus what you used to have to create.
Yeah.
So it's cool, but it's almost like those are, it's just a great tool.
Yeah,
So,
it's a lot of tools within digital DJing. And it depends on the DJ whether it's going to be a tool or whether it's going to be a crutch.
oh man, profound.
'Cause they
Profound.
will be like
Yes.
some DJs. It got too easy for them. They're like, oh,
A lot.
so
A
the
lot.
software will tell me the BPM. It'll tell me
Absolutely.
the key.
Absolutely.
I can turn on sync. Sync does take some skill to use properly. I'm not anti-sync because I will use sync, depending on the setup I use.
Okay.
If I'm on a controller,
Yeah.
yeah, I mess with sync, no problem. With turntables, not so much because it's not as beneficial.
Okay.
It doesn't work as well,
Okay.
in my opinion.
And when you do the sync, is it four on the floor where it's just this, or can you use like polyrhythmic beats where you can,
You can.
as long as the grid's set up right?
There's two different versions of sync. There's simple sync, and then there's the more advanced sync. The more advanced one requires you to have your beat grids set up.
Okay.
Simple Sync doesn't require beat grids. It just that's the one I use. It's the one that when you hit that sync button, it's going to match the BPM up right away.
Oh.
So your BPMs are going to be matched up,
Okay.
but the phrasing is not going to be matched up. So
Gotcha. And that beat may not be on point
right,
then.
yeah. So just because you hit that sync button doesn't mean the software is taking over and doing everything for you.
Okay.
It's making some adjustments. It's making it easier for you in some aspects, but if you don't got no rhythm, you just ain't got no rhythm. If you can't drop it on the one,
No doubt. No
sync ain't
doubt.
gonna help you.
Okay. Well, how about the other way, where you say, I guess, with the grid. So if that grid is hitting right, then I guess you could stretch the songs out, and no matter what you put together, it should be able to mix on point.
There are limitations. I mean,
Okay.
because
I
I
thought
mean, like
so.
if you got like a
Yeah, I
song
don't
that's
know it like that.
98 BPM, sync will make it possible for that 98 BPM to mix with 115.
No, but let's say the BPMs are relatively the
If
same.
they're relatively the same,
They should still go together,
they sh-
kind of.
yeah. I mean, of course, you still have the issue of the key of the song.
Okay.
Some songs just their key just doesn't match, and
Yes.
even if you get the BPMs together, it's still gonna sound bad. Um, it's better than not being
Okay.
on BPM. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? It's better
Okay.
to have your BPMs lined up, but
Okay.
sometimes when you got two songs that just don't really mix together well,
Okay.
but you have to go from that song to the next song, just make it a quick mix.
Because there may be like an Al Green cut where it could be like Love and Happiness. It may start off at, I don't even, just a guess, but it could start off at like maybe 87, but end up at 101.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the beauty of soul music, where it was done by hand. It was done
Yeah.
by hand, where that pocket is dope, but there's a fluctuation. Earth, Wind, and Fire albums, a lot of the old school stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything like from the 70s, like, or even 80s with live instrumentalists, you have to really be skilled. And you can go in and set your beat grids, but you have to do it manually. So it's not like when you're in Serato and you just analyze your files
Okay.
and
Yeah.
it runs through it and it's done.
Yes.
No, with
Yes.
that manual beat gridding, you have to go in there and find the transient and the waveform where the kick is or where the snare is. You got to find those pieces because it's not quantized when you got a live
Okay.
band. The
Gotcha.
drummer might have been into it, so he might have had a little
Yes.
more of a pocket or whatever. So it takes prep time. You have to really prepare
Gotcha.
your music. And a lot of DJs, new DJs, they don't like doing that.
But you can actually shift those over
Yeah.
that hi hat or whatever, where it's actually.
You can shift your beat grid over so that it's actually hitting where it's supposed to. And then that is what makes using
sync
that
work.
sync work. Yeah.
Oh wow.
But that's why I use Simple Sync, because most times I just want to get that BPM matched up.
Yes.
And then I'll take care of the rest. And another cool thing about Simple Sync when you're using a controller, not what turntables, when you're using a controller is when I've got these two songs synced, say I move the pitch on this one, the pitch is going to automatically stay
Yeah.
synced up with
Okay.
that one. So
On simple.
On Simple.
Okay.
So if
Okay.
I'm doing something that might require me to mix these songs together real quick or get them matched up and then I need to increase the tempo really quick, normally with turntables I'd need a third hand.
Yes.
I'd have to have a
Yes.
hand for each pitch control
Yeah.
and then have the skill to keep them together as I raise it up. With Simple Sync, I just need one hand. They synced up. Okay, just move that one pitch control and both songs will speed up or slow down in relation to each other
Okay.
from that one pitch slider.
Okay.
And that's a really good trick, especially for like battle routines. Because sometimes you got to be quick with it. And
Yeah.
it's funny because I was trying to watch the recent battle videos that were put up because DMC did their finals for the Foundation, I think the Scratch battle, and several other battles. But I was watching them over the weekend, and I could see where my divide was as far as what I like to watch from a DJ routine. I like to see a little bit more of the purism
Okay.
to it,
Yeah.
which is why I like to spin back when I can.
Yes.
You know, cue points are cool, but if you can spin back, I'm more impressed with that.
Gotcha.
And I was seeing some DJs were just pressing buttons,
And
like
that's
George
why I
Jetson.
asked.
I'm
That's why
like,
I
okay, that's
asked.
a little not interesting to me.
Precision was tight though,
Yeah.
but that's why I
I'm like,
asked.
this
Okay.
probably would be great if I wasn't watching. If I was just listening, I'd be like, oh man,
Yes.
that sounds great. That sounds
Yes.
great. But if I'm watching a routine, I need to see something happening. And
Yeah.
that's why I maintain turntables. I
Oh,
stick
that's
with
great.
turntables because I'm like part of what I'm providing is entertainment, and I am that.
Okay.
So people will sit there and watch you
Yes.
DJ. Oh, look at how he's
I'm
going
glad.
from
I'm
that
glad.
deck to that deck. He's picking
I'm
songs
glad
out.
you went there. I'm glad you went there. So, oftentimes when you see social media, you'll see cats turning knobs and doing all this. How much of that is necessary?
Not much of it. Not much of it. Some of it is nervous ticks that we
Filler.
have.
It's filler.
Touch that knob. Touch that knob. Sometimes you just going through a mental checklist. Make sure I'm at 12 o'clock here. This is there. That's
Yes.
there.
Yes.
But then you can tell when it's like, I'm not even sure if you're actually playing that song that I'm listening to. Is this a CD
Yes.
playing or whatever? Because
Okay.
when you see these wild movements like what you just did, I'm
Yes.
expecting to hear something.
Correct.
But you moving knobs and sliders and ain't nothing changing. I'm like, okay, that's all for show. But then you see some DJs and there's just they got to keep it moving, and that does mean they're gonna touch this knob or this slider or whatever. But they're
Okay.
also at the same time listening to a record in their headphones, queuing it up. You see them doing some actual DJing stuff.
Yes.
Some of these guys or girls that you see out there doing all that and everything, I'm like,
A lot of knob twisting
you're
going
not
on.
even thinking about the next song coming on
Yes.
because it's
Yes.
probably already been pre-programmed.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see that a lot. But they got a crowd. People came to see that, so I can't knock them. That's what you're doing. I just don't want people to equate that with what I'm doing.
Gotcha.
Just because I'm sitting behind two decks doesn't mean I'm doing the same thing as the next person sitting behind two decks.
I gotcha. I guess we need to bring it on home. But in terms of your season, when does your season kind of slow down a little bit?
After New Year's.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're going hard through the rest of the year. My
Oh,
guys
okay.
already told me.
Salute, salute.
It was like, yeah, my calendar's full right now, so anything else that's coming is coming towards you. And if you can't get it, we got to get somebody else on the team or whatever. I'm like, okay, I'm ready for it. I mean, I spent a lot of money on equipment this year. I spent a lot of money on
For the love of
equipment.
this stuff, man.
So I need to recoup it, and I will. I will.
Okay.
Oh, and speaking of equipment, I got my rain mixer back. Yep. I haven't even mentioned it on YouTube yet. I got my rain mixer back this week. It showed up on Monday or Tuesday. Surprised, they gave me a new one. The last time I had called to find out what was going on with it, because I had sent this out for repair like in May,
yes.
and they kind of ghosted me, no replies to my emails or anything. And then when I did call, and I was like, look, I need to know what's going on with this ticket number. He was like, oh yeah, parts are back ordered. It's hard to get stuff. Check back at the end of August. My heart just dropped. I was like, you know what, fine, forget it. I'm not even gonna think about it anymore. And then one day last week, I think it was like Sunday or whatever, Sunday night, I got an email that said FedEx has a delivery coming in
a
the
new
next
one.
day. Yeah. I was like, okay.
So
And it worked.
so what is your take on, is this something they're going to be able to take care of? I see, obviously for them to send you a new one, there must have been.
It had to be a bigger problem.
Yes.
Yeah. And this was, so the one I sent back was a replacement that they sent me. And
Oh, wow.
within the first 30 minutes of me using it, it shut off by
Stop playing.
itself.
30 minutes?
Yeah. Within the first 30 minutes of me using it, it rebooted by itself. One of the USB ports didn't work. I was like, no, it got to go back. And I was so frustrated. And I told my wife, I was like, if they fix it and send it back, I might not even open it. I'm just gonna put it right up for sale and go get the Pioneer joint.
Oh man.
But when this showed up this week, I was like, all right, I really do love the layout of the mixer, and when it works, it really is my favorite one. I
Really?
was just really upset with the way Rain handled the customer service aspect of it.
But it's still your favorite though, huh?
Yeah, I love the workflow of it.
Okay.
Just the layout of it, whether I'm doing a party or a battle, it just it resonates with me.
Okay.
I was using my Numark Scratch for
Okay.
the longest time while it was out being repaired or replaced, and I've had that mixer longer, but it's got limitations and the workflow isn't the same.
Gotcha.
I end up trying to do stuff and I'm thinking like I'm on my Rain, but I'm on the Numark, and I'm like triggering samples and
Okay.
at the wrong time or whatever. I'm
Oh,
like, I did not
wow.
mean, I meant to hit a cue point,
So
but I
you
was
will get confused sometimes.
yeah,
Is that right?
yeah.
Okay.
That's why I prefer to have one mixer that I use all the time,
All the
so I
time.
know what to do and I
I
can
got you.
work it blindfolded.
Okay.
When you have several different mixes with different layouts and
Yes,
not all
sir.
the same functions,
Yeah.
you get in the heat of the mix,
Uh-huh.
you might forget, oh, I'm not in cue point mode, I'm in sampler mode. So
Oh, that's ugly.
I mean,
Okay.
it's not too bad because when I'm hit my cue points, I'm always doing it on beat.
Okay.
I'm always trying to cue it up or whatever.
Okay, good
So
lesson, good
when I'm
lesson.
hitting my sample by accident, at least the sample's coming on
Okay.
on
Good
beat.
lesson. Good lesson.
But it's a little weird because like I don't normally drop my I know I'm Logistical Styles, but before that I was DJ Logic. But I have my DJ Logic sample, and I'm like, why am I hitting DJ Logic so much? I'm like, oh damn, I'm in
Gotcha.
sampler mode.
And for the followers, which Rain mixer was this?
Rain 70.
That's the
The
one you were
Rain
having
70.
issues with
Yeah.
that they replaced. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, everything's coming together, man. Like I said in the beginning, it's been a busy summer. Lots going on. A lot of opportunities on the DJ end and in life in general. So it's like I'm trying to make it all work.
Right on.
So
Right on.
hopefully we got some more stuff coming up. I
You
definitely,
will.
I
You will.
I need to set up a time to come and mess with that record cleaning machine.
Sounds great.
I got some vinyl.
And the machine too.
Yeah, we haven't touched the machine.
Man, listen, I need help with that stuff.
Yeah.
I need help with that stuff. But for the sake, of course, your schedule is full, but how can you be followed again and contacted?
Once again, any social media, well, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube is all Logistical Styles. You can try to reach me on Twitter. May or may not happen. And if you are on YouTube following me, make sure you subscribe. Or if you're watching this video, make sure you subscribe so you can know when we put up more videos. And I think a lot of people actually reach me through YouTube because that's where most of my contact is, as far as if you need to give me a call or text me or even email me. All that's there. So feel free, keep reaching out. I love it when y'all let me know that you like what I'm doing. And even if you don't like what I'm doing, let me know that so I can stop doing it or change it up a little bit. But we definitely want to get more content going. That's part of the company I created, Content Unlimited. Check that out, www.contentunlimitedllc.com. And that is where I am trying to make a portfolio of all the content I create, whether it's YouTube stuff, Instagram stuff. I do drones as well, so I'm trying to put it all together because it's content creation is one of the biggest growing careers right now. You know, I've watched a couple of videos over this week and they've been pulling up the reports and been like, yeah,
Message.
that's one of the biggest
Message.
moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Create some content because
Okay.
you will only get better when you create more content. And that's anything you do in life.
Right on.
The more you do it, practice makes perfect. You know, that's the saying,
on.
but the more you do it, the better you get at it.
Okay.
And even with this YouTube channel, I sometimes sit back and laugh when I look at my first couple of videos. They were They were very amateurish. I mean, even now, this isn't super professional stuff, but it's getting better. I
We
always
grow.
want to make it to get better.
Okay.
Whether it be
We
the
grow as we
environment,
go.
yeah, everything, the environment, the sound, the video, all that, just
Oh wow.
be better. That's my goal. I try to tell myself that every morning. Get up and be better than you were before. So,
Message. Salute to all of the content creators, the record collectors, all the geeks out here that get into the controllers, the equipment. We salute you.
yes, sir. So, we appreciate y'all for checking in with us. We're going to do some more stuff. I always say this is just beginning, and it's just going to get bigger and better. So, tune in, check us out, and don't forget to subscribe and share. Peace.